Now, those are live visuals there of the last leg of the Box Trophy Tour. They are in Tanzania currently. Our reporter Griselda Lewis giving us great, exceptional coverage, interacting with a number of the supporters, lover of the Springboks team. They've all just given their account of having their particular favorite team members coming to Tanzania there. A very, very momentous occasion for most of them who have watched rugby for a very, very long time. And today they get to see the most coveted trophy in world rugby in East London. So a very important occasion today and a lovely one. Many of them having spoken to Griselda saying they actually wished that tomorrow would have been a holiday because today they're just in such a jovial mood that they'd love for the celebrations to continue well into the night. We're now joined by our reporter Abongile Dyantyis to give us the very latest from his vantage point. All right, I believe we don't have Abongile as yet, but as soon as we do get Abongile, we'll take you there just to get interaction from where he's located. But as you can see there from those visuals, my colleague Griselda Lewis there with the police officers, heavy police presence today, but a number of people having gathered there wanting to just catch sight of that trophy. And it seems that our Springboks are still in great spirits. Fourth time that they bring the cup home, a very momentous occasion as stated there, and a number of those young ones also just rushing. Since yesterday we've seen visuals of them throwing their t-shirts for the Springboks team members to sign those as well as their rugby balls. So one would think that these are pieces they'll keep for the rest of their lives because indeed it is a special occasion to have their favorite team members signing their t-shirts as well as rugby balls. More visuals there, as we can see, most certainly ones that if we look at where rugby comes from, one would have never thought we would see the day. A number of young and old supporters of the Springboks there just catching a glimpse of the cup as well as seeing their favorite sportsmen on that particular tour bus. Most certainly a unifying sport, as many have continued to say. I believe we have our reporter Abongile Dyantyis in Mdantsane for us. Abongiwe, what is the latest coming from where you're at?
Well, Mfundo, the Mdantsane access road is clearing at the moment, and really it's quite chaotic where we are. There's a bunch of people, but luckily for some other people, they got the chance to be presented a ball by the Springbok captain, Siya Kolisi. As you can see here, Mfundo, that's the signature of Siya Kolisi. It's really chaotic. I'm trying my best.
We need to change government. And it's a national we need to change it. We're happy for the box.
It's really chaotic. It's really... Fundo, allow us to cross at a different time because the crowd is getting unruly here. Please forgive us. Allow us to cross a bit later on because it's really unruly here.
Change government now because ENC is failing.
All right, those are live visuals there from Damtsane. That's our reporter, Abangile Jan. She's very unfortunate as he was crossing there. It seemed to have been getting chaotic. And just listening to a bit of what the gentleman was saying, it seems he has politicized or used this particular occasion to talk on politics. And it seems he's saying there that governments need to change. We'll most certainly cross back to our reporter, Abongile, there to just get exactly what is the issue, because we do know in most occasions when people have gathered, there would be those that would want to politicize and most certainly have their views around political issues being aired. So it would be quite interesting to get better clarity from my colleague Abongile on what exactly that particular squabble was about. But we'll most certainly continue to give you coverage of the final leg of the trophy tour of the Springboks, a very momentous occasion, as we keep saying. A number of young people there, as well as old supporters of the Springboks, gathered, all trying to get a glimpse of the cup and also to interact with their favorite sportsmen. A number of them having thrown their T-shirts as well as their rugby balls to their favorite sportsmen to be signed. So a very great day for most of them indeed. We'll actually try and take us to one of our other reporters, Griselda Lewis, who is there as well, just following the tour bus. Let's quickly cross live there to more of that coverage. All right, more news on the other side of this break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. We continue our rolling coverage on the Springboks, the winners of the 2023 Rugby World Cup. They are in fact painting the East London streets green and gold during their Webb Ellis Trophy tour. We're now joined by our reporter Griselda Lewis, who has been following the tour bus. She has been seated there in that particular police van. Can you just take us through the very latest coming from your vantage point?
Well, Nomfundo, I can certainly tell you, Mtanzane in East London has gone absolutely wild. There are thousands of people that have gathered here to wish the Springboks well, congratulate them, and say that they've done well. What a moment it is to be here. We have been going for a couple of kilometers now, and certainly what I can tell you is that in those kilometers, the excitement that is taking place here in Mtanzane is palpable. The scenes that I am seeing here today are unlike any where I have seen. Perhaps this is precisely because this is such a huge township. But I tell you, the love and support that the Springboks have gotten from the community here in Mtanzane, who are running alongside the bus as the Springboks are signing autographs, catching their rugby balls, signing them as well. I tell you, I think my voice is going to go. It's unbelievable what is taking place here. Not forgetting, as I've been saying on our sister programs, the love that is being felt here in Mtanzane as part, I guess, in fact, to the reason being that some of the Springboks are actually from this province, and them being from this province means and inspires a lot of the children that come from these areas that are incredibly disadvantaged, like Mtanzane, who believe that if there is someone like Siya Kolisi, if there is someone like Mzwandile Stick, if there's someone like Makazole Mampimpi who can rise from areas such as those, it certainly is possible for them. I tell you, I will ask my colleagues to pan towards this area. I have never, ever seen anything like this. This is absolutely incredible. Just take a look here. We've decided to jump on this police van because that is what's going to work for us at this particular time. I tell you, what a time. And this crowd is not stopping. We have been going for kilometers and kilometers now, and I tell you, the spirit and the zest at which they have been saying they appreciate what the Springboks have done is certainly unbelievable. I'm going to ask my colleague if he would just come towards the side so I can speak. Baba Bengcela nje ukuthi ngiyabonga. Let me try and speak to some of the guys here and see. Puti, wena ufuna ukuthini?
Inalifuna uyithetha mna. Dabulela kwamabhokobhoko uyabona sister. Dabulela man. Keep it up guys. Come on. Dabulela kwamabhoko. Singathini dabulela. Oyini baba sabulela. Siheavy uba izila noIslandani. Uye kuthi awuthuphi yazi mna. Awuthuphi yazi mna dabulela kwamama ndiwile.
All right, just some of the sense. Hi, sweetie. Unjani? Hi, Kulega. Wow. Just having some great conversations here with the people of Mthanzane, some of which I even know personally. I must say, it's wonderful to be here and celebrate, with the Springboks and how this entire community. I'm going to ask my colleagues if they're able to just shift the camera, which is on our van, and point it towards this direction here. I'm going to ask the camera to move towards this direction. I'm sure my colleague Bongani is able to hear me. What an unbelievable moment. Just take a look at the people. Take a look at the thousands of people who have come here to celebrate with the Springboks. I'm actually running out of words to say. Because I simply cannot believe the moment that is being celebrated at this time. I don't think the Boks would, in trying to grasp whether they understood the magnitude of what was waiting for them back home. They said they did, but I think this one in particular is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They are not getting tired. They just keep going. Close to heart for some of the Springboks who are part of this celebration tour here today. The final leg of it in Mthanzane here in East London. I just wish you could see what is happening just behind us there as well. The tour bus. All right, we'll stay on these visuals and show you exactly what's taking place here in Mthanzane. But let's go to my colleague Lerato, who is on the other side, and she'll tell you just how many people are waiting on the other side. This is as we crisscross Mthanzane, which is the largest crowd so far on the final leg of the Springboks Trophy Tour. Lerato?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Griselda. We are now on Oxford Street. I'm going to ask my cameraman just to turn around with me. I want to show you exactly where the bus is going to come down. It's going to come down Oxford Street, which is the main CBD, one of the busiest roads. So the road you see here that I'm pointing out to my right is where the Springboks are going to come down with the bus. They are currently passing through Egompo, and then once they're done there, they will come down here, down the street, which is Oxford Street, down here into the CBD, and then they will come and obviously do a presentation here to the people that are here. I have to just say that the East London has shut the city down. I was speaking to some people that are saying, I used to see the big days, it's December already, and I'm going to try and speak to some people here at the City Hall to find out exactly how are they feeling. There's a huge stage set up. Let's hear from some fans on how they're feeling. How are you feeling to see the Springboks? How are you feeling about seeing the Springboks shortly?
Do you feel scrumptious instead?
Scrumptious.
Feeling great, hey? Great things to see the Springboks here.
I don't know what you're looking forward to seeing this afternoon.
Oh, Malone, Sister Kunjani. We are here in East London, next to the City Hall, Oxford Street, waiting for the Rugby World Cup winners 2023.
What are you looking forward to seeing? Who would you like to see the most?
I would like to see Mapimpi and Sia Kolisi. The guys that are playing. Sia Kolisi. Come on, it's not Kevin.
Wena mngushana ufuna ubona bani wena?
Ubona bonke.
Bonke ngopha mthanda kakhulu.
Akekho ndibathanda
Bathanda bonke. Okay, wena sizabona yatsiba ufuna ubona bani wena? Okay, let's talk to some more people. Wena bhuti uzobona bani namhlanje apha eMonti?
Mna ndizobona uMapimpi with uSiya Kolisi.
Kunjani mantana xa ngumuntu osuka apha eMonti ubona uMapimpi abasuka apha kule ndawo ihlala kuyo bezonibonisa the World Cup kuba bebekhuleke endawo ihlala kuyo uziva njani namhlanje?
I'm so proud of Eastern Cape ne-players esiphuma khona, and I would like to see more kwi-government ezizothatha ii-players with rural areas like oMapimpi. I would like to go to Dimbaza. There are players there who are very good. Thank you.
Saying that there are a lot of players all the way in Dimbaza, which is an informant area here in King William Sound. So saying that there's so many other players that still need to be developed here in the Eastern Cape, and saying, you know what, they need to go back to the grassroots. That's just beyond just the World Cup. Beyond this, must go to the grassroots and try to get more players to get up to the Springbok level. And saying that it's time now to go back to the Transkei, to go to Kumbu, to go to Etsolo, and find the young Liboks and find the young Kolisis to make sure they get a chance to play for the Springboks one day as well. Let me try to see if I can find some people here that can speak to us. So happy to see so many familiar faces here in Oxford Street. How are you feeling, Putu? Who are you excited? I feel good about Namhlanje.
I feel good about the Springboks.
Feel good about Namhlanje? Chesley Cobley. Okay, and here, who would you like to see? Who are you looking forward to? What are you excited most about today?
I'm excited to see Chesley Cobley.
Caitlin Colby, okay. And who's your favorite? Who would you like to see? Siya Kolisi.
Yes.
Why do you like Siya Kolisi so much?
He's the best one. I like.
Do you like his leadership? Do you like his style? Do you like the way he plays?
I like his leadership.
Awesome. So we're just gonna walk down a bit just to show you guys a bit. Obviously the crowd is hiding the stage for us, but you can see it's excitement galore. Like we anticipated, the City Hall is going to be probably one of the biggest turnouts of people, because it's a city center of the town and people have come out here from Mdantsane, Egombe, Amalinde, Nahun. They've all come here to try and support this movement. You got an autograph. How did you manage that in front of man?
Mina Grant Williams, no Karen Moody, no Oxenche.
But when I peace and
Panga SABC. But they are so inspirational to me, and in the future I want to be like them one day.
So man babona bedlula phambi kwakho uzive njani bedlula phambi kwakho basanetop yakho binjani inhliziyo yakho?
Inhliziyo yami beske yaqhuma ubona abantu endifuna ukukhula nje benje ngabo, and bona kum as role models nami ngifuna ukukhula ndifane nabo. Thank you.
So like we said earlier on, guys, this is just more than just a World Cup. This young man happened to find some of the players and got an autograph for them, and is saying, you know, for him it's more than just a trophy tour. It's inspiration, it's hope. It's saying that it's possible, you know, to dream and make the dream come a reality. Buti, you're also here. Ufuna abantu namhlanje? Ufuna abantu namhlanje?
Chesley Cobley.
Kuthiwa mthanda kakhulu.
Kuba he's my favorite player. Because we are on the Zundadala.
Uyadlalela phi position?
Number 8.
Then one day nafunda the Springboks. Ngizobona pha one day. Sharp. Wena sana sam, who are you looking forward to seeing?
Mbona Libok.
Well, uthanda uLibok.
Yakhaba, yaqhwitshela.
Uyakhamba khanye. Awesome. Wena sisi ulapha ufuna ubona bani?
Ngithanda uDeclerc number 9.
Kuthiwa mthanda uType okanye uthanda nyanyani?
iFrontier.
Elisa.
Ndisikhaya uyamthanda for irabhi okanye umthanda for iType?
Rugby uqinile uyakwazi nje.
Uthanda iType.
Yebo.
Was saying that she loves Faf, and I was asking her, do you like him because he's handsome or do you like him because he's a good player? She's like, a bit of both. Who are you looking forward to seeing this afternoon?
Ndifuna ubona uPolandi, ndifuna ubona uSiya, uMbonambi, bonke nje, go.
Who are you looking forward to seeing this afternoon? Why?
Etibet, ma'am.
Why do you love him so much?
His haircut now, man.
His haircut. I think you should shave your hair like that, so you'd be cool like that. Will you do it?
No, man.
Not really. When I put on you are here this afternoon,
I'd like to see Evan Elizabeth, Oxenche, and Trevor Nyakane.
And if you got to talk to one of the players, who would it be and what would you say to them?
It would be Oxenche, and I would like to grab an autograph, and I believe I'm going to be the next Oxenche.
You hear that? I love it. And may you become that. A young man saying that he loves Ox, and he believes that if he had a chance to meet Ox and say he wants to be like him. So as you can hear, Big is going to go on now. And there's a lot of people here, but I said to you earlier on, a few minutes from now, the trophy tour is going to come here to the City Hall with a lot of young people here excited, and hopefully they're going to see Siakolisi, Mapimpi, and all their favorites come here. For now, let's go to Griselda.
This is, of course, where there are thousands and thousands of Springbok supporters, as well as fans that have gathered here to wish the Springboks well. There are thousands of people that are running behind the Springbok trophy tour bus. This, of course, being on the last leg of the tour. What a send-off, what a victory, what a celebration. This is certainly something that the Springboks would have loved to see in terms of what it would have been like for their final tour. And certainly the people of Mdantsane here in East London have come out in their numbers, and they said they wanted to be part of this. They wanted to show what it is to celebrate the Boks. They also wanted to show what it is to celebrate with the Boks for the victory that they achieved in Paris. I tell you, what a momentous occasion it certainly is here.
All right, indeed a momentous occasion there, thanks to our reporters Griselda Lewis as well as Lerato Fekisi, who's at the CBD on Oxford Street, and just listening to one of the young people who spoke to Lerato there, saying that really when they got their shirts signed, their heart was just pumping so fast, because honestly they just want to be like their favorite players, and that's really at the heart of what this trophy tour is all about, for young people and even old to see people like them, their role models, and be within close proximity. We'll continue with that rolling coverage after this break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. We take you back to the Eastern Cape, particularly in Mdantsane now. This is for the final leg of the Springboks Trophy Tour. My colleague Griselda Lewis is standing by. She's been in the behind of the van, police van, just following the particular tour bus. Griselda, what is the very latest coming from where you are?
They're going to be incredibly tired by the time this comes to Ufunutini.
Hello, Sinimono, Siakole, Siavuibo, Sia. Aivo, I see a boy, Savuibo, Sali.
All right. Just trying to get
We apologize for that particular audio, but we'll most certainly take you back as soon as we can re-establish the line to our audio. But those are live visuals there from Mdantsane. As you can see, a lot of supporters of the Springboks having come there to catch a glimpse of their favorite stars, as well as that coveted trophy that they are displaying today for the community of Mdantsane. A very important final leg of the trophy tour. A lot of the players coming from the Eastern Cape, so a very important province. And as we heard from a number of those that have spoken to our reporter, stating that it's very important for them as young aspirant players to see those that they've idealized for so many years. For the first time, it feels real today, and most certainly a momentous occasion for even the Springboks themselves to see exactly how they are loved and adored in most of these provinces where they have gone. Because it's one thing that Siya Kolisi has stated, that this time around they were playing for the nation. If in 2019 they were playing for themselves as a team to win this time, they really went in wanting to play for the nation as they continue to be viewed as a team that unites our nation. Black, Indian, coloured and white have all come together to celebrate the boys, this being their 4th World Cup that they have won. 4 times that coveted trophy has come back to South Africa. All right, now the tour bus continues. It will be going now soon enough to where our other colleague is stationed, Lerato Fekisi. She's at Oxford Street in the CBD. A number of supporters also gathered there, so it's making its way to Oxford Street. And as has been stated by most of the reporters, it seems as the final leg has been one where the most supporters have gathered. Stats are not yet in, but it looks from how we've been covering it that most certainly a lot of the supporters have come out in their numbers in the province of the Eastern Cape. All right, let's shift our focus to this particular story now. A 27-year-old suspect is expected to appear in the Pretoria Magistrate Court on Monday. He was arrested with copper valued at over 50 million rand. Police swooped on a property in Pretoria's Boyson Street where they found the owner, who indicated he'd bought copper at an auction in Bloemfontein. Copper valued at 50 million rand was confiscated. The arrest followed a tip-off received by the Hawks Tactical Operations Management Section about a syndicate allegedly involved in various criminal activities, including dealing and selling copper in the city.
The suspect produced a second-hand good dealer permit, claiming he is authorized to deal in copper. The suspect was informed that he needed to be in possession of a certificate allowing him to possess copper as per Criminal Matters Amendment Act 18 of 2015.
The Makumbane Tea Estate outside Thohoyandou, Limpopo, is turning into a white elephant. This despite government investing nearly 200 million rand since 2006. Financial crisis as well as dysfunctional equipment have halted tea harvesting for almost 2 years. The tea estate was revitalized in 2006 after it had been abandoned by the Springbok Tea Estate.
The Chibase Tea Estate at Mukumbane village was once the heartbeat of economy in the Bembe district. It has more than 1,700 hectares of tea plantation, but less than 20 hectares are being maintained and rehabilitated. The rest have been abandoned due to lack of resources, including workers. The estate once employed over 2,000 workers. Now it has only about 200 workers as it is in a dying state. Vehicles, tractors and grader as well as packaging machines stand idle. Employees blame it on a lack of government support.
We are no longer producing in this factory due to the fact that the machines here are not serviced. It has been about 4 years now since we last serviced this machinery. And you run the risk, as a manager in this factory, I cannot run the risk of running this machinery of this caliber without servicing them, because I'll be putting the lives of these people that works here in danger. If one machine here can just break down and it happens that there's a person nearby here, he's surely gonna die.
200 workers report for duty. They are responsible for maintaining and rehabilitating few hectares of tea plantation to prevent overgrowing. They are calling for government support.
The problem here is leader. is not servicing our machine, and it's not maintaining our machine.
We are very few since leader has taken over. Now we have a problem because we don't know if we'll continue working. We want revitalization of tea estate so that more will be employed.
We want the tea estate to be rehabilitated. We want more employees to be hired so that we can produce more tea. Ever since the leader took over, workers are no longer being hired.
Government entity Limpopo Economic Development Agency says the tea is no longer profitable. It cost the government nearly 40 million rand a year to keep afloat.
What is happening is that after we made some investment in the tea estate, and after realizing that this investment is basically not giving us a return, we have decided to really create a task team to look into diversification of the business so that we can come up with products that will basically create commercial sense to us as leader, as well as to create job opportunities and employment opportunities for the communities in that area. There was a time when tea was profitable, and as I have mentioned, that tea is no longer profitable. We are losing almost 40 million annually because the consumption of tea is less and less and less, and as a result, that is why we are saying we are actually we want to abandon tea and come with a diversified diversified businesses that will make sense to leader as a company.
The estate produces black tea called Midi tea. The tea is, however, not on shelves anymore. Abafani Munyayi, SABC News, Mukumbani.
We take you to one of our big stories for today. The Springboks, winners of the 2023 Rugby World Cup, are painting East London streets green and gold during their Webb Ellis Trophy tour. For more, let's now bring in our reporter Lerato Fekisi, who's at the CBD in Oxford Street, awaiting the tour bus to arrive there. She's obviously surrounded by a number of supporters who want to see their favourite stars. Lerato, what is the latest coming from your side?
A very good afternoon. I was just tired that we will do anything to get a story. We've climbed onto the roof of a flat to make sure that we bring our viewers the best. I'm going to step out on shot now so that my cameraman can show you. We are now at the City Hall, and what you can see is a stage set up where Siyakolisi and the boys are scheduled to arrive a few minutes from now with the trophy and do a short presentation and some thank you to the fans who've come out here in their numbers to show their support. So what you're seeing is literally the city centre, a street called Oxford Street here in East London, being painted in every single colour to make sure that they support people here. But I asked some people here to come and do ibas for me, because like I told you, if we're going to have a party in East London, we are going to shut it down. We're not just going to do small things, we're going to make sure that we bring this entire trophy tour to an end on a high note. So I'm going to join them while they do ibas, and you guys can see for us, we're at a rooftop just by the way, in a flat that we've just joined. So I'm going to try to see if I can join them. I think they've left me already, but I'll try. Okay, they're coming to the front now, okay. And that's how fun it is up here, man. We are starting our own party on a rooftop, waiting for the Springboks. We are aware they're going to come down this street with the trophy on the bus on top. Siyakolisi has been an absolute fave here in the Eastern Cape. Okay, they got it right now. Okay, let's go. Okay, let me go total. Okay, let's just talk. Okay, guys, why did you decide to come and sit on a rooftop?
Oh my
to do
goodness!
This, to support the Springboks.
We are like so proud of our Bokke guys. We've been supporting them through and through from the first day to the last day. So that's why we're up here. We're here to show our support. We are amazed by these guys. 2 years, 2 World Cups in a row. So we're like excited and we're out here and we are proud of our city, Buffalo City, yay!
Yes, I must just say that Buffalo City knows how to have fun, man. You guys are called the city capital of the Eastern Cape. How excited are you this afternoon to see your players?
Oh, I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited. The Bucks brought it home. We are united. Siyavuya sisonke kakhulu uma Buffalo City. Siyavuya sisibaza naye ekhaya amabhokabhoko. Dithi well done to the boys. Siyavuya ngeunity abayizisileyo to our country. Siyabulela kakhulu sisi wami.
Awesome. Nambushwana, you're also here namhlanje. Uziva njani ulapho uzobona i-players?
Oh, ndiziva kahle ndazi. Yo.
And you, young man, how are you feeling and who are you excited to see? You're excited to see Bani? Why do you love Chelsea Club so much?
Because his pace.
His pace, ne? Hey, now who are you looking forward to seeing this afternoon? Who's your favorite? And come on, jump high, come on, because you're on the rooftop.
Kobe, Pollard,
Manny Libok. And you, little baby, I see when you're the first. High low. Fulubona bani na mama.
Ya mama.
Fulubona bani sibona futhi.
Mapimpi.
Usi yami. Fulubona mapimpi. Na banomnye? Nosiyakolisi. Oh man, a young man saying that he wants to see Siyakolisi. So adorable. And like I told you, we are actually on a rooftop of a flat. We have to negotiate our way up here, but we want to make sure that we close the Springbok tour on a high note. And what better way than to come to Eastern Cape and celebrate the Boks like we have this afternoon. So what you see now is literally East London, the party capital of the Eastern Cape, where all fun begins and ends, is where we are bringing the end the Springbok tour. And people here have made sure they come out to celebrate and give homage and praise to the world champs, 4 times world champ that is. For now, let's go back to the studio and take a bit egg break as well.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa participated in the extraordinary summit of SADC heads of state and government. The extraordinary summit of the heads of state and government started on a virtual platform. This was on the 31st of October 2023. It has reconvened in Luanda. This is to finalize discussions on the consolidation of peace, security and governance in the SADC region. The summit is responsible for the overall policy direction and control of the function of the community. Now, for more on this, we're joined by international news editor Sophie Mukwena to give us the very latest. Sophie, good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining us. So the in-person SADC Extraordinary Summit got underway yesterday. We know that security on the region, as well as the elections past and upcoming, are high on the summit's agenda. Just talk us through some of these discussions that have taken place thus far.
I think what is important is the situation in the DRC. As you know, that in the southern part of the DRC, you have the conflict raging on as different groupings are fighting, and also you have a situation where the military in that country is engaged in a standoff with the M23 rebels. And ahead of the elections in this country, you have to ensure that there's peace and security, and therefore the meeting did prioritize DRC, where they agreed that there should be a deployment of troops in that country and support system to ensure that you have peace during elections. But the question is, in terms of campaigning, did all the candidates get an opportunity to campaign in that country, the entire country, or it's just a part of a country where you can engage in political activities? The other issue is the issue of the elections in Zimbabwe. They did receive that report from the person who's the chair of the Troika, that is the president of Zambia. And what's surprising is that they don't say much about that report, but they pointed out that in terms of the communique, they have noted the report. They are not dismissing the report either. And therefore, I think there's something happening behind the scenes in terms of the issue of Zimbabwe. It might not be something dramatic, But the fact that they say they noted the report, they don't say much. They don't reject the report outright.
But I must say, just initial reports coming out from Zimbabwe post the deliberations around this particular report of the elections, I saw that the president came out very strongly emboldened somewhat, saying that, you know what, it was merely their detractors who had something to say about those particular elections, and he was basing this on the fact that, like you said, all that happened was the noting of the elections and the report. Nothing else was stated, or maybe harsh words communicated to the president. So clearly, on Zimbabwe's side, they're emboldened now, or feeling a bit more confident that the elections were indeed free and fair, according to them.
That's what Mnangagwa is saying, but the matter will not go away, in a sense that you have the opposition that has rejected the elections or the outcome thereof. And therefore, going forward, they will continue to do this. And the international community, when they take decisions, they are going to take that into consideration. And we are aware that many Zimbabweans, both in the political arena and also in relation to different academics and NGOs and human rights organizations, they are continuing to question the results. And therefore, it doesn't clear the matter completely, particularly in the eyes of international community. So the push to remove sanctions, targeted sanctions, I must say, will continue to be an issue between Zimbabwe and countries such as the United States of America and the European Union, but also in relation to people leaving Zimbabwe to look for greener pastures, because you still have this uncertain environment in that country. It will continue, and neighboring countries such as South Africa will continue to have or to carry this heavy load of Zimbabweans coming to South Africa. And ahead of the elections in South Africa, the governing party will have to handle this matter, because many South Africans have lost patience in relation to Zimbabweans coming to South Africa because of the challenges that we are facing as a country, the socio-economic conditions in this country. And therefore, whether President Mnangagwa is emboldened or what the reality is, the challenges are not going to go away anytime soon, and particularly South Africa. Whether President Ramaphosa like it or not, this matter will continue to be an issue in the country, and ahead of the elections, this issue will continue to be an election matter for some of the organizations, as we saw that those people who are pushing for foreigners to leave South Africa have launched a political party, and they can use this issue that many people, some think that they are correct, and therefore you will have to deal with this issue as long as the economic challenges in Zimbabwe are not resolved. And therefore, I think it's still a matter that will continue to be in the news.
Most certainly will. I want us to shift our focus now to some of the other significant international stories taking place this week, perhaps starting with the COP28 discussions or processes that will be taking place in Kenya. I know that for the longest time, many on the continent continually say that we need an Africa that will speak with one voice when it comes to issues of climate change. Just talk us through the discussions about to take place.
Well, the Minister of Environment, who's responsible for the discussions around the climate change, Minister Barbara Creecy, is convening stakeholders meeting in South Africa, virtual stakeholder meeting, to discuss a position of South Africa. And then before end of next week, you'll have this important meeting of the African group, the committee that deals with COP28, where Africa is trying to come up with one position. And you know that the minister was appointed by the Secretary General of the United Nations to ensure the implementation of the Paris Agreement, or perhaps to look at how far we've gone in terms of implementation of the Paris Agreement. And therefore, between now and end of November, the minister will be doing just that. And of course, we'll have that COP Climate Summit in the United Arab Emirates at the end of November, where the president of South Africa will participate. And therefore, the issue of COP28 are now high on the agenda in many countries, including the coverage around the world, looking at what will be the issues. And we saw the minister participating in Abu Dhabi the past few days, where ministers were discussing the agenda, and what came out, the breaking news, was that they have agreed on the implementation of the loss and damage fund, and therefore talking about setting up a structure that will ensure implementation.
And then we understand that EFF's leader will also be in Kenya. Talk us through that particular visit, the significance thereof.
You know, Professor Lumumba, an academic and a scholar in Kenya, who is very popular on the continent, they are setting up a structure, a university or an institution that will conscientize South Africans in general to take charge of their own destiny, and conscientizing Africans to be Pan-African. And Malema, who has positioned his party as a Pan-African party, has been invited to deliver a message there. You know that he has been very vocal on issues that are affecting the continent and outside the continent in relation to what posture the continent must have when dealing with international matters. And therefore he will be on Tuesday delivering a statement or a message or a speech in Kenya. This will be his first public appearance outside South Africa, where he is addressing a platform where he will be focusing solely on issues that are affecting the African continent. And people are looking forward to hear what will be his message in relation to Africa at this critical time, where we are dealing with climate issues, where we are dealing with the war in Ukraine that affected the economy of the continent, where we are dealing with the Middle East question, where African countries again are under pressure to take sides.
And when we speak of the Middle East conflict currently, we again know that they are divided. So they're both in this particular matter. We've got countries that stand with the people of Palestine, but you also have others on the continent that stand with Israelis. Just talk us through the very latest coming from the Gaza Strip.
The latest, the breaking news is that the Secretary of State of the United States of America, Anthony Blinken, who has been in the Middle East for a few days now. He started in Israel, he went to Jordan, where he met the ministers of the Gulf region or the Middle East. He is now in Palestine, in Gaza, where he is expected to meet Mahmoud Abbas. And we are waiting to hear what will be his message, because he is going to get first-hand information in terms of what's happening in Palestine, because you get conflicting reports from Israel and Hamas. And therefore, this is a moment where he is going to be confronted with ordinary Palestinians who will be expressing their views in terms of how the conflict, this protracted conflict, we can't talk about the past 4 weeks or 5 weeks. This thing has been there for 70 years now, so that he can see what's happening in the Middle East and particularly in Palestine. So we are all keenly waiting to hear what the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, is going to say after this visit, and I think we'll have updates later in the news.
Most certainly, we trust that you will give us the very latest post that particular visit. Sophie, thank you very much for your time. That's International Editor Sophie Mokoena speaking to us there. Let's shift our focus to this story now. As matriculants in the country prepare for final examinations, the family of a grade 12 learner, 17-year-old Malatswe Kasago, whose life was cut short last year when he drowned in Durban, are still looking for answers. The family, however, don't believe he drowned and say the details surrounding his death are a mystery. Lambasting the Department of Basic Education, the Kasago family says they're crippled by their loss and feel undermined by government for not giving them proper answers that can help them find closure.
It's been just over a year and a half and the Kasago family is still mourning. They recall the day they received the devastating news that their son, who had a bright future, had died in Durban during a school tournament.
I'm just confused. I'm in the dark, and it's like this thing has happened yesterday. As you are here now, it's like it has happened yesterday. So we are in the dark. We need help. We need those who can help us to take this matter forward to help us. It's very much painful, more especially if, the people who knows the laws, who knows the procedures, they are ill-treating you like this. It is bad, more especially about our government. Even Panya Salusiwe, I've never heard any word from him.
The teenager was in matric at the World School Birchley in Kempton Park at the time of his passing. The bright star was part of the school's first rugby team and was also deputy head boy.
I suspect foul play because what had happened is that we were supposed to get the report of what had happened about my son's death a long time ago. But the Department of Education, they told our spokesperson for this house that their lawyers instructed them not to give us that report. I think there's something that they are hiding.
17-year-old Maladzo Kgasago died while apparently swimming in the Indian Ocean. In March last year, another learner who was with him also drowned in the rough seas. But the Kgasago family claimed that they never received the post-mortem results to convince them that he had indeed drowned. Maladzo's mother has endured months of agony and pain searching for answers.
Why the government failing us not to come and give us a report and a post-mortem? And then we just thinking ourselves that maybe this happened, that happened. We don't know how, what had really happened. In my inner side, I'm dying. I'm not well at all.
And we don't sleep. We have nightmares. And again, I can tell you that I was also diagnosed that my high blood is, I'm sick now because of this issue. I was having a high blood, but now it's very bad. So we are still waiting for the investigation officer to come to us and to tell us what had really happened. What did they find about this matter for our son's death, since no one have ever came here again to speak to us.
Despite the family's claim that they are in the dark, police insist that there's been continuous communication and that the probe is ongoing. Police spokesperson Colonel Robert Nechiunda in Durban.
Investigations into the drowning of two Gauteng schoolboys in Durban in March of 2022 are well underway, and the families have been kept abreast with regard to the developments on the matter. The latest communication on the progress of investigation was between the investigating officer and the father of one of the boys on Friday, 18 October this year. In the conversation, the police confirmed that post-mortem results were back and that the docket was presented before the senior public prosecutor. The investigating officer is currently purifying certain aspects.
All right, let's take you now to East London, where my colleague Griselda Lewis, as well as Lerato Fekisi, are standing by. They've been covering the final leg of the Springboks Trophy Tour, a very momentous occasion, as you would have seen a number of supporters coming out to see their favorite players. You can see the visuals on just that small screen there. We will certainly take you live as soon as they arrive at the CBD at the City Hall, where we're expecting for them to have a short presentation. That's the Springboks, our champions, four-time champions. They will be having their presentation, and there you have the visuals of them making their way to the CBD. It seems a number of supporters are now gathered there. It's been huge numbers since the morning, and as many have said, most of our reporters, that it's probably the largest crowd we've seen here and befitting for the final leg of that trophy tour. But that's where I leave it for today. We're back next week. Take care.